Good morning to Bitcoin Bounce. My name is Joseph, and today I'm here with Dion, and we're talking about Bitcoin, what's happening with Bitcoin, and Dion is going to give us an excellent signal on BTC near. It's actually the near BTC crypto pair. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but you saw Bitcoin is kind of on a very solid support. And I've been looking at quite a few of the currencies on the Forex, and I see a lot of currencies are still tanking to the downside, but Bitcoin is holding, and so that's making me very happy. Dion, tell us what's happening with Bitcoin.
Hi, morning guys. Let's quickly have a look at the indices here. So the dollar index, remember last week we were trading in this broadening wedge, and the dollar had this massive spike to the top, and when it hit the top there, it's had a nice pullback, which is great for all the other markets. The only thing that's suspicious though is that all the other markets should actually have a spike now because of this pullback, but they don't. So it's just a bit strange. So it looks like the markets may be manipulated. So this is the Nasdaq. You can see it's still just tanking, and the S&P 500 also is still down quite a lot. And if we look at gold, this is the one that this is how the reaction should be, is when the dollar spikes like that or pulls back, then you should have the opposite on gold and Bitcoin and the other indices, but that hasn't been happening. So gold is looking great. It's reacting like one would expect it to do. We can just have a look at the money flow into the altcoins. So at the moment that's going sideways, but not losing ground, and looks like it might be going to break out here soon. The altcoin perpetual, so these are the top 10 altcoins against Bitcoin, also looking very strong. And we were just looking, as you say, this just gives you an idea of crypto in general, is that it's performing very well, just going sideways but not losing ground and tanking like all the fiat currencies are. So crypto is actually looking very strong. If you look at this index here, the Bitcoin dominance chart, there's a small breakout here, but this is to be expected if Bitcoin does do a bit of a bounce like it's supposed to now when the dollar pulls back. This would happen. But once we hit the top side, I think we'll have a look at Bitcoin now, and we settle there. I think that this dominance will start to pull back again. Let's quickly have a look at Ethereum. So just quickly looking over the charts, this is the weekly, very much still the same thing as last week. We're still under all these important levels here, 1.3 to 1.5. So it's also just been going sideways very slowly, nothing much happening on Ethereum. Bitcoin, if we look at the weekly, let's get my internet to catch up here. So looking at the weekly, we're still under our weekly support, but we're now getting to that line that this trend line that we've been watching since November last year that we haven't been able to break. So it really is getting to crunch time now to actually break out of that trend line. And as you say, you can see that we're just holding support here, and hopefully that will now force us to break this line. And then next up is the weekly resistance, and then after that is the 200 MA. And we're just keeping at the moment. Remember the video we watched, Steve from Crypto Crew. So he says that there was always be concern when the 50 MA, this is the green line, and the red cross. So this is now at last happening. We've been watching this for quite a few days now. So it's at the point where it's going to cross, but you can see it's not like everyone expecting this massive dump when the two lines cross. So I think we've seen most of that dump already. Normally the MAs are like that. You can see the whole dump all along. They are lagging indicators, so I don't think it's much to be concerned about. I think you can see it's really looking like it's kind of bottoming out and you know, starting to move more horizontal. So I think we're just going to touch, maybe be under for a few days, and then break it again, and hopefully then that's the start of the upcycle for Bitcoin. If we just zoom in a bit to the daily chart, also we're getting close to the 50 MA. On the daily, we're still trading in this parallel channel here, so nothing has changed there, but the whole of last week and for quite a few days, like 10 odd days, we were struggling to break this the center line of the parallel channel, and we've now at last managed to break that, and it looks like we're holding that as support at the moment, so that's great. We can quickly just look at the levels. So at the moment we're trading above last month's low and last week's low and this week's low, so it looks like we're gaining a little bit here. These are all important levels. We keep an eye on them because these are targets for the banks and the market makers, so as long as we're above these levels, we would probably be targeting the upside, so that's looking great. And then if we just look at the 4 hour, so on the 4 hour there are also quite a few things that I see, so no one really knows what's cutting at the moment. So on the 4 hour there's this broadening wedge, so, and we kind of like right in the middle of that, so we could either go top side or we could dump more and hit the bottom of that. So that's the one pattern that I see. Then the next one is also that same parallel channel, so the 4 hour is also trading within that and also above the halfway mark there, so that looks great. And then the most positive pattern is this one here, which is an ascending triangle, so they normally break to the upside, so you can see it's always making higher lows, but on the top side it kind of stuck against that level, which is roughly 20,400. So but it keeps on pushing up, and then eventually this pattern breaks to the upside. So this is the most positive one and looking good for us. So first we have to just break this 50 MA here, and then the 200, and I think once we're above this we could probably retake this trade here that was up to 22,800. So if we eventually find support above this, then that could be a nice trade to the top side there. We can really just look at the fear and greed index as well, so we're running at 24. It's better than last week, but still extreme fear in the market. I think it's because of all the macro conditions. Everyone is very concerned about the Fed and the dollar and so on, so I think it's just overall just market fear. The altcoin season index, so this is the one comparing, I think it's a 70 odd altcoins against Bitcoin, so they're all underperforming against Bitcoin at the moment. So Bitcoin is a bit stronger, that's why also we saw that dominance break out there, so we'll wait for this just to catch up again. And then this rainbow index, this is just a logarithmic chart showing just the history of Bitcoin. If we just zoom in here, we're still in the little blue zone there, so that's rock bottom, and obviously still a great entry buy for Bitcoin now to ladder into positions, and we've never stayed there very long, so maybe this is our last opportunity to buy at these great prices before we start moving up to the top side. But it hasn't broken down yet, it's just trending sideways and looking strong. Then the trade we wanted to look at was near BTC, so at the moment we think it's best to trade Bitcoin against the other coins until Bitcoin starts to spike, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. Your Bitcoin is growing, and in the meantime you're also making money on trading Bitcoin against something else. So looking at near, the top side potential is 170%. It's not as high as some of the others we've seen, but it's just a nice moving coin, this, so Joseph and I both love this coin. So I want to target this 30%. We've done that a few times, and we're at quite a low at the moment. If we go down to the 1 hour, let me just zoom in a bit there. So we're above the support, and you can see on this is just a trend line that we've now broken through, come back, retested, and it looks like we're going up from here. So for an entry, I would just have a look at, like your MACD, when you get a cross here, the green line normally I just color these green and red. It makes more sense to me, but normally the MACD is just that orange and blue line. So once you get the buy signal on the MACD, and also this is the RSI, if we get the RSI above 50, so we might be in for like a bit more of a pullback here, maybe to come and touch this line here. So but once we get entry signals here, RSI above 50 and the crossing on the MACD, that should be a good entry on near. Also just keeping an eye on what's happening with Bitcoin just overall, but then there's a good 20 to 30% move here on the near coin. And that's it from me today, Joseph.
So Dion, you showed us there on the Bitcoin chart, it was a rising wedge. So it's a support line, and then there's a trend line on the bottom that's coming up. Is that not a bearish signal?
Yeah, so this is ascending triangle. Yeah, so it has a base, and then normally this bottom side here is ascending to the top, and it normally just comes, retests that, goes back up, and then bounces back off that level. So we know that 20,400 is very, very strong. We've so many times been bounced back down from there, but it's not going at the moment, it's not going below this. So every time we hit it, we're going higher and higher and higher and higher, and then eventually it just breaks through to the top side, because it's had so many hits against this 20,400 that it would then break through, like happened here, and hopefully then that time we would just stay above it. So no, this is actually quite a bullish pattern, this particular one, but some of the others, like this one here, is a bit concerning. Like that broadening wedge, that would make me a bit nervous, because here we could break down and come and hit the bottom here, which is round about, could come as low as 14,000. So if that's the pattern that's playing out and we break down, then that could be terrifying. So it depends. We're not sure what's going to happen. So some guys in the market are looking at this. I'm trying to be positive and to look at the bullish pattern, but this is a possibility that it could break down and hit the bottom of this wedge here. Yeah, so that it could happen.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin has been ranging between the 18,500 and the 24,500 level now for a while. And what Steve from Crypto Crew says, Bitcoin actually needs to bounce between those two levels for a long time, at least 3 months, because that's going to build a good base for a good strong run to the upside. If Bitcoin starts running right now, then I haven't built a proper base yet, so it's not going to be able to hold on. And I know a lot of people are building their confidence in Bitcoin. It means there's more and more money pouring into Bitcoin right now. A lot of NASDAQ falling. I watched a show, the guy reckons 4% of money, the reason why NASDAQ is falling, 4% of that money that people sell of fear actually goes into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is slowly but surely being built right now. I know when Bitcoin started selling off, there was a huge amount of money that came out of Bitcoin, but that money is slowly but surely coming back into Bitcoin again.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, okay, I'm excited about that Near BTC coin. I love the Near coin. When I optimize my DCA bots, Near is one of my top coins. Is performing very well. There's nice volatility. So yeah, I definitely gonna look at that trade. My favorite coin still on the BTC is the Cocos coin. But you know, the Blue Zell coin is a very small coin, but I like to trade it. This last week, all my profits that I made was just from the Blue Zell coin, so that's also a very nice one. But it has these little spikes, and then I can cash out on my DCAs. Alright guys, that's all from us today around Bitcoin. We're gonna, in a few minutes, start our next show, and what we're gonna talk about is our favorite coins, altcoins that we think you need to stock up right now. I think it's gonna be a good show. See you just in a few minutes.
Great guys, cheers, have a great day.